Namaste. Pishacha Yoga. This is a specific yoga that is formed when Rahu comes in contact with Moon or when Rahu comes in contact with Mercury. Pishacha Yoga. Pishacha is a Indian word which means ghost. And what are ghosts? What are evil spirits? Ghosts or evil spirits are those entities whose desires have been remained unfulfilled. Desires were not fulfilled in their birth time, and so they became ghosts after death. Pishacha. In simple words, it is also addressed as Pretatma, a ghost, a soul that keeps wandering after death because his or her desires are not fulfilled. Pishacha. Rahu signifies this Pishacha, that is, this ghosts who may haunt you if you continue to remain negative, if you continue to live a corrupt life, if you continue to insult and offend others, because by doing so, you are reducing the quality of your life. You are reducing the good balance of your life. And then when you are left naked, meaning when you don't have any good karmic balance, then these ghosts or these pretatmas target you. They may target you on their own, or you may become an easy target of black magic. So basically, Rahu signifies these ghosts whose desires remain unfulfilled. And so desire is very closely connected with Rahu. So yesterday, Mohan asked a beautiful question, that how would you categorize Rahu? Whether you will categorize Rahu as good or bad. It is a beautiful question. And in this podcast, I have answered this question. So let's begin.
Rahu is not bad and Rahu is not good either. Rahu is just a smoke, and smoke is smoke. You just can't get away from it. What is this smoke all about? This smoke, Rahu, is your obsession to satisfy your desires. The word is obsession. Obsession simply means you are paying too much attention and energy to something which is not that important. Out of proportion, you have become focused, hypnotized by something. Rahu hypnotizes you to such an extent that you can do anything just to get to the goal, just to get to the point of attraction. Obsession is a kind of hypnosis that you create for yourself. Then everything else disappears in your life and only one thing remains, which becomes your focal point. Your life becomes one-dimensional. That's an obsession. Life has to be multidimensional, but when Rahu connects with any planet, it makes you one-dimensional. So if you have Mars and Rahu together, you will go on thinking only of sex. 24 hours a day, deep down in their minds, the topic is always lurking. They may be doing something else, but they are thinking of sex. Then it is an obsession. You see, this is how the smoke creates an obsession based on the planet it is placed with. There are people who are obsessed with food. They continuously think of food, and it can be a positive obsession or a negative obsession. Rahu is obsession. There are people who call themselves celibates, monks, brahmacharis, and yet they are continuously thinking of sex too in a negative way. Such people are folks who have Jupiter afflicted by Rahu in some way or the other. So you see, the smoke operates based on the planet it associates with. What are planets? Planets are simply the reflection of your qualities. When a planet is exalted, you have great qualities related to that planet. When Venus is exalted with all beneficial aspects, you have someone as beautiful inside out person who is not just beautiful but is truly compassionate towards his or her fellow beings. So when a certain smoke accumulates around the planet, that is the quality, you see some dark shades of those qualities. Rahu and Venus, when they come together, it gives a beautiful mask. But behind that mask, there is a great obsession towards romance, art, love relationships, partners, and sex. But Mars and Rahu is total obsession towards using the energy for selfish desires, sex, tantra, black magic, etc. Here there is simply an obsession towards physicality, no art, no love, no positivism. It is a straightway nailing obsession towards getting things done without bothering what way is being chosen for the same. So Rahu simply spoils the game, and a spoiler cannot be good or bad. A spoiler is a spoiler. So it is good to see when Rahu is placed alone in a house. That way the smoke is there, but it at least does not directly affect the individual's quality. Let it be very clear that Rahu is your own creation. So don't blame Rahu for spoiling your life. You have come to this world because of your desires, which is Rahu. And so you have to first learn to accept the fact that it is not Rahu who is affecting your life. It is not the nuclear bomb that is to be blamed. It is the man who created this dangerous bomb who is to be blamed. So when you see your marriage failing and you blame your Rahu placed in the 7th house, then you have learned nothing in this life. In the next life, you will be in the same place with the same miseries. Life repeats itself mindlessly unless you become mindful. It will go on repeating like a wheel. And that is the greatest tragedy of human life. Whenever you have a problem, you visit an astrologer, and then the astrologer tells you this is the reason. Rahu is placed in so and so house, and then you are satisfied. But no one is ever willing to ask why Rahu is there. The question why is never asked. You will ask why I have this or that problem, but you would never ask further on why a certain planet is in such a position. Nobody asks. People are simply happy to find a shallow reason, and that is how everybody is happy living a shallow life. Rahu is shallowness. The smoke is just on the outside. It never goes deep. It is not interested to know the root of the cause. As long as you remain ignorant, the smoke is happy. Rahu is ignorance. Ketu is depth. Never underestimate a man whose moon is with Ketu. If other aspects support, then such a man is not only brilliant but a genius. He has a certain depth that a Rahuish man can never understand. A certain quality of understanding has to be there. Then the truth can be given. Ketu has the divine power to bring a certain understanding while Rahu doesn't have. Rahu will go on and on and on. He has the accumulated knowledge of the whole world, but that is all. A man may know the whole world. He may have all the knowledge of the world, but if he is not aware of his own self, then he remains an ignorant fool. To ask who you are is the quality of Rahu. To ask, to look within, self-inquire, who am I, is the quality of Ketu. Rahu traps you, Ketu liberates you. Ketu moves you to the basic question, the question of your existence, of yourself. Who am I? Not the body, because it is decaying. Not the mind, because the brain will decay with the body. Not the personality, nor the emotions, for this also will vanish with death. This feeling, this understanding, this realization is possible through Ketu and not Rahu. Truth is only to be found in deep silence. Knowledge is noisy. Truth is found only in silence. Rahu is being obsessed with intellectualism. Ketu is more driven towards intelligence. Intellectualism is of the mind, and the mind is a monkey. The mind is nothing but thoughts that hold no truth. It is only the heart that has the truth. Intelligence is of the heart. And meditation is a journey from mind towards the heart. The day your mind is overcome, you are in for the greatest miracle of your life. But Rahu brings many hurdles. Your own self-induced desires create many hurdles. The greatest hurdle that blocks you from experiencing the truth, experiencing true love, experiencing the divine is your desire, which is Rahu. How to overcome the desires? And the answer is found in the quote of Neem Karoli Baba, one of the greatest divine masters of recent time, whom the much famed CEO of Apple, Steve Jobs, had come to seek Baba's divine blessings. Neem Karoli Baba says, if you want to see God, kill desires. Desires are in the mind. When you have a desire for something, don't act on it and it will go away. If you desire to drink this cup of tea, don't, and the desire for it will go away. And so, let us not categorize Rahu, because that would mean like categorizing desires. Desire is desire, good or bad. As long as desires remain, the unending cycle of birth and rebirth and the suffering continues. It just never ends, it never can, unless a day comes when you stop focusing on the outside world and start focusing inward. And that's meditation. That's Ketu.
So, as you can now understand that Rahu is neither good neither bad, because Rahu is just a smoke of your desires. We all are born because of our desires. However, each one of us differ because our desires are different. Our desires differ. The quality of our desires differ. And the quality of desire is based on the level of your self growth. You see, it is all interconnected, it is all linked in. So, depending on the quality of your being, depending on how aware you are, how conscious you are, your desires will vary. If you are operating at the very lower level of consciousness, then your desires will be very poor, of base quality. If you are operating at the higher level of consciousness, then your desires also will be of the higher level. Always remember, you can never drop your desire. However, you can raise the quality of your desire. And the quality of your desires can be raised up only when you bring more and more awareness to your being. And how will this awareness come? How will you become more and more aware? Only by turning inwards, only by meditating every day, only by chanting every day, only by being selective, very selective of people with whom you come in contact, being very selective about the company, the group, the people with whom you come in contact. Because company matters. You may be good, but if you fall in bad company, your whole life can be spoiled. So all of these things, when you introduce in your life, only then there is a possibility that the quality of your desires, that is, the quality of your Rahu, will go towards the better way of life. The quality will improve. The placement of Rahu will improve. So it all depends on how much effort you take. And effort needs to be consistent. It is not that you just do something today good and tomorrow you forget. It is not that you just meditate today or chant today and the next 2 days you don't do anything. You have to be consistent. And that is why I always suggest that do it in small portions. You need not sit for entire 1 hour. You can do it just for 10 minutes or 20 minutes every day. But consistency is very important. Enough for now. Jai Sri Ganesha. Jai Guru.
ॐ गं गणपतये नमः। ॐ गं गणपतये नमः। ॐ गं गणपतये नमः।